Zach, what I loved about your message to me is that you were probably the first person to touch on intergenerational trauma.
Okay.
So I think family is a great place to start.
Yeah.
Who's in your family?
So it's my younger brother, my sister, and dad and mum. Mm-hmm. But dad's like not in my life.
Has it been that way since birth?
He was an alcoholic, so he was around but not there. Mm-hmm. Like, mum took care of everything, dad worked and then drank. Like, there wasn't much else. We did the odd beach trip and that. Mm. But, you know, like the old school thing, all the parents would sit around and all us kids would go find a track.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Just go up the hill, cause a muck, run amok. And, that was the lifestyle. Mm. But, like, the whole time, the older I got, I could sense, like, dad wasn't there like mum was, you know? Mm-hmm. And I saw, like, I remember going to my mate's house and I'd stay there and he had different rules to me because he was, like, the footy star of the family and he was going places. And my mate's dad he'd come out of the room with his undies on at, like, midnight for a midnight snack. And I remember he'd be like, all right, boys, don't mind the smell, because he'd be, like, smoking joints in the room. But I didn't really know what was going on. But I remember how, like, it was so good to sit at the bench and eat bacon and eggs with him at 12 o'clock. Mm. And just that connection, you know, I never really had that with my dad.
Did you find that you wanted to go to his house more just to spend time in that sort of dynamic?
Yeah, I felt like a belonging. Like, and he would kiss his son on the lips or the cheek. And I didn't find it weird. Like, you know how some people, they'd cringe if they saw a man kiss his son? I thought it was great. Like, I missed that in my life, you know?
It's interesting that you knew that from such a young age, that it wasn't weird and that's what you desperately wanted. Mm. So drugs and alcohol was normal for you as a child, as in, like, to be sort of around it?
Not the hard drugs. Mm-hmm. I did that myself. But alcoholics, it was normal. They live in that normality of drinking. I guess that was passed on from my dad's dad and so forth. And I remember, like, I would sit in a room and all the parents would be smoking, like, windows closed, hotboxing with cigarettes. I don't know if that led me to a nicotine addiction, but if it was my own choice. But yeah, like, that was the normal. And the only time I was ever around, like, marijuana was that dude, my mate's dad, that weird smell.
Talk to me about growing up and your childhood. So obviously you had a bit of an absent dad who was an alcoholic. Mm-hmm. I want to know how that sets you up to view what a family should be. Do you think that the woman should take care of the kids?
I had so many mixed emotions growing up, and the older I've got, the more I've made my own opinion. Early on, I thought that was normal. The dad works, the mum is a housewife. But when dad left, when I was 13, mum took over. She was working 24/7 parent, and it was a lot to handle. And that's what led me to, like, trying to support the family when I was 13, 14. Mm-hmm. Was like, I need money. How am I going to get money? And I started my addiction. And then I was like, you know what? I could support my habit and not pay for it and make money on the side.
Win-win for you.
Yeah. And that just spiraled, like, as addiction does, you know.
Zach, tell me about the day that your father left.
Funny. So I actually told mum he was cheating on her. Yeah.
That's a big thing to do as a child.
So my dad was very easy to read. He was very basic and simple. He would come home from work, take his, like, clothes off, have a shower, put on his old school boxers, no shirt, hairy chest, and just sit on the couch and have beers. And my sister would bring him a bag of chips and beers. And if we had any family over, even his sisters or anyone close, he would sit there and he wouldn't budge. But my sister had this friend, and when her mum came to pick her daughter up, dad would be like, oh, He'd get off the couch, go get his nice clothes on, and come sit at the table, which he's never done before. And I was like, he's impressing her, you know? So easy to read. And this lady was like the glamour, you know, we were a very basic family, but she was fancy. And I think Dad just tried hard, you know? And, you know, he has his reasons. Some I agree with, but most of them I don't, because he could have done things a lot better, like just communicated his feelings from the get-go. But I saw it for what it was. I had a lot of anger towards him because of my upbringing, you know, copying everything I did. I was always in trouble because I'm the eldest. It was always my fault. And just, yeah, not being present, I guess I had anger towards that.
Yeah.
So when he finally did that, I understood it, but I was still angry,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, they say that anger is the Band-Aid for sadness.
Yeah.
Do you look back and
That's hectic. That's so cool.
do you think you're sad?
I was definitely sad. It's like, I remember I was talking about this the other day. I went to one of my schoolmates' house and I saw his parents kiss all the time. And I said to myself, all right, I want this. This is normal. Like, this is what I want when I grow up. And I didn't speak about it. I just put it in my back pocket, remembered it, held on to it. And I knew that's what I wanted when I grew up. And I did that with a lot of things. Like, ever since I was young, the hardest lessons I got taught were the best ones. And I didn't need to tell anyone. I just knew when I grew up, that's how I'm going to live. And it obviously took 17 years to turn it around, but now I'm doing it.
But you probably had to go through that to be sitting here today, right?
Yeah.
So you start doing drugs quite young from what it sounds like.
Yes. Well, I was smoking ciggies when I was 9, getting the odd drink at New Year's and stuff. And then when I got to 13, Dad left. I started smoking weed. And I was drinking more. And then I remember my mate was like, you're a stoner, like, drink. And I just love weed. And I convinced myself I was better than my dad because I wasn't drinking.
Interesting.
And then we tried speed because that's what it was back then. It was the old school gack sort of thing. Then the pingers. And then within 6 months or 8 months, that turned to ice.
From doing your first like speed or MD,
Yeah, when I was
turned to ice.
15, I was doing the speed and the MD. And yeah, as soon as I hit 16, I was smoking the pipe, like the ice.
Did you start
Maybe
selling?
16, 17.
Yeah.
But I was smoking speed. Like as soon as I tried speed when I was 15, 16, I was smoking it in a pipe.
Wow. I'd started doing speed at about 15 too.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it. I loved it. It allowed me to be this person who I wasn't in my everyday life. Did you feel the same?
I felt on top of the world. Like, and I could see all these alcoholics, they weren't making sense. And I felt so clear-headed and motivated. And like, because I was working at 15, I had an old school boss. I was literally a slave labor. I had so much energy, you know? And it didn't matter how bad the day was. I could get my fix when I got home or on the weekend, you know, however consistent my habit was. But yeah, fuck.
Are you going to school during this time?
No, I left when I was 15.
To work?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you start selling drugs then? Do you start selling drugs?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you did. Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Did you start selling drugs at what point?
When I started smoking weed.
Wow.
Yeah, I was supporting my weed habit. And then when I turned to the next drug, I was like, I want this for free. Let's get rid of this. Yeah, and it just, everything I touched, I tried to make money off it because I couldn't fund my own habit. I was trying to save up for a car and still do all the normal shit. And somehow I saved money to go to festivals. I guess I wanted it bad enough,
Yeah.
you know. And I made sure I had a week's supply to get off my head the whole time. I remember I was at a festival and I was 18. It was my first festival. And when the guys picked me up, they're like, all right, we're going to have an easy night, big couple of days. And I was like, what do you mean? I haven't slept in 3 days. They're like, what are you talking about? The festival's 2 days away. And I said, yeah, I'll stay up till then
now.
too. I couldn't get enough of it. I loved it. And I guess that's what kept me under that hammer for so long, you know.
Zach, what were you known as to your friends? Were you the drug dealer? Were you Zach, the good time guy? Were you a mess?
I was the good time, the happy, the caring, big heart for all my childhood. Even when I was 18, I covered it up very well. But the longer it went on, the more my close friends disappeared, and it was just using friends. And at the time, like, it's only been in this 9 months of recovery is when I've really woken up. But for 17 years, all these using buddies, I thought were going to be best men at my funeral, not my funeral, my wedding.
Yeah.
And to let that go, it's like ripping a part of your heart out. But if you're honest with yourself, you've got to cut it off, like, and be aggressive with it. Like, otherwise you're 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and you're going to be dragged down. And like right now in my life, I'm going up.
I want to know, Zach, if those friends from childhood, any of them have come back since being sober, or you've reconnected with any?
In a way, like, they've reached out, they've told me they're proud, but all my new connections, I don't know how to explain it. It's like successful connections, you know, people that are going places.
Just next level, yeah.
Next level. And then there's levels above it. I have connections in Miami right now. Like, and if you asked me 9 months ago if I thought that was possible, I would have laughed, you know? Like, what?
So, Zach, you have had 8 overdoses.
I lost count. But I just draw the line at 8.
When was your first overdose?
I think I was 24.
So a few years
24.
into your drug use.
Yeah. Like, it got really bad. I became, like, immune to the pipe. I would go through so much of it. I started getting such big amounts because I was using all my profit. And then I was getting money in to get the next bit before, like, I'd even had it to give them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Just on tick.
Yeah. I was getting the money on tick and they weren't getting shit until I got the staff, you know? And then, where was I going with that?
Overdose.
Oh, yeah. So I was immune to the pipe. I'd have a pipe and go to sleep. And then I'd wake up and I'd have it again. And if I didn't have it, I'd fall asleep. Like, and then I got on the Frank and I was like, awesome, I don't have to drink because I was never a drinker on the pipe. And then I would have these doses and I'd just do the same thing. I'd push myself to the limit, you know, like all or nothing. And I just would go to, like, one way with the pipe and try and bring it the whole way back with the doses and just combine it and see how much I could do because I love both sides of the hit. And then it's very easy to overdose on Frank.
I've heard this, yeah.
Yeah. And I've seen people do it. I'm so lucky and happy, like, my family never saw it because it's sickening. Like, it's like a possessed demon within a person. They fit uncontrollably. There's, like, moaning and hectic sounds coming out. And I remember looking at that and I was like, I'm not going to go that far. But before I knew it, I'd had a little bit too much and then I was gone. And I remember waking up like nothing happened. And then I thought about it. My mate goes, bro, we were at like 40 minutes away at one point. He had no license. We're in a hot car, and I fell asleep. I had a toothache, and I was like, oh, I need to get rid of this. I had Panadol, wasn't doing anything. So I had heaps, big dose. Like, you're supposed to measure it. I had a whole bottle cap and then another half one and just went, fuck it. Within 10 minutes, I was out. And he reckons he was bashing me the whole way home to try and snap me out of it and wake me up. And we've gone through, like, the school zone, and I'm in the car, like, doing the fit and everything, he reckons. And he was freaking out because he had no license. And he's like, what the fuck? Like, I remember I got home and I woke up to one of these punches. And I was like, whoa, what are you doing there? Like, why'd you do
you're
that?
normal. Yeah.
You know? And he goes, you fucking idiot. Like, what are you doing? And I said, I don't know, man. Like, I
had a
I was
toothache.
asleep. Yeah. I had a toothache, bro. Like, and, you know, it didn't occur to me how bad that was. I went straight inside, I had a pipe and another dose. You know what I mean? That was what was normal to me.
Zach, it sounds very messy. That's what it sounds. It sounds.
It got messy.
Yeah,
That's
sounds.
what I mean. Over 10 years, you just lose control.
Well, you know, your friend driving a hot car and you overdosing in the front, you guys speeding and then like picking up the pipe. It sounds very like leaky, is almost like messy, leaky. Was police ever involved?
I'm lucky as like.
Because you were selling drugs too.
Yeah.
Normally a messy drug dealer doesn't end well.
Well, I wasn't really. I just did my own thing, hey.
Okay, so you weren't selling like commercial supply.
No, I never went too big because I never wanted to go to jail. I never wanted the bad side of that criminal world. I was around people with guns and hectic people. But for some reason, I'm not going to brag about it or anything because that's stupidity. But I never went too big. I did my usual routine. And I just kept to myself. I was very, I don't know, careful, I guess, if you can be careful when you're under the influence. But I told myself I'd be careful. And, you know, things happened. Some groups went down and I moved along to the next one. And it was just like, I just thank God, you know, that I didn't end up dead or in jail. Because that's what it leads to. It's like I just got saved and saved and saved. And I'm just very lucky, hey.
Zach, did you think that you would always live that life? Because I want to ask that because what I noticed about your childhood, I don't even know if you recognise that you said it. You said that your friend was a star and he was going places.
Yeah.
So you obviously had that sense of unworthiness from a very young age.
Yeah, I guess so. I just missed. All I wanted was to be my dad's best friend. Hey, so I guess I didn't have that love, and I probably did feel unworthy, and that's why I guess because I had no one close. Like Mum said, you know, you're going to be a footy star one day. I had so much skill and talent. A lot of people say that, but I had it, you know. And I had a love for the game, a passion. But as I got older, something happened, something shifted, and getting high meant more. I don't know where I went wrong, but I ignored that passion and that love for the game, and I fell in love with the euphoria of the hit, of getting off my head. The party scene, the music. I'd hear music and I'd get goosebumps, you know, when you just feel sound so deeply. And yeah, I just went the wrong way.
What did your life look at during these years? Like, were you able to hold down a job? Did you have relationships? You've obviously got a child now, but we might be fast forwarding a bit too much. But yeah, what did it look like?
Toxic relationships. The whole, I fell in love for the wrong reasons. And like you said, I felt unworthy. Every chick I dated, I felt like I wasn't good enough. I was codependent, you know. and I lost who I was. Yeah, I just wasn't confident.
I think when people think of drug addicts self-sabotaging, a lot of people assume that that means we're in the gutter and we are like, oh, fuck it, our life's bad, so we're just going to be bad.
Yeah.
But I think it actually shows up when we are having moments of success or moments of happiness. And you can have a really good relationship and think, subconsciously think, I'm going to fuck this up. Did you notice that about yourself, that you wanted to self-sabotage even when things were going slightly good for you?
Yeah. Well, I'd need a hit to do something successful or like to get positivity. But as soon as something went wrong, it gave me an excuse to use.
Yes. Confirmation bias.
I
Yeah.
was like, yep, fuck it, I'm going to use, you know? Like, it's easier. It was easier to keep using than try again. In my life now, I carry so much stuff and I love it. It's like, I was thinking about it the other day. Back then, I was scared to die, but I was killing myself because I was scared to live. Right now, I've never been more excited to live and happy to live and so unafraid of death.
Let's get to that. Let's talk about the moment you had enough. Do you remember the exact day when you wanted to stop using?
So 5 years ago, my ex at the time, she couldn't stop using. And bless her, I didn't understand it at the time, but she convinced me to go to rehab or she was going to leave. But the thing was, she had it planned the whole time. She was going to leave once I got there. And once I was there, obviously she left. I got over it because I had good support in there. But I remember when I got out, I'd put on 20-something kilos in the 6 months. And I was confident, felt the best I've felt in ages. I didn't have the bruises under my eyes from the sleep deprivation. And I was like, how good is this? You know? And I went back out. I was just like, I got it under control. I'll do coke instead of crack, you know? How stupid.
Like a child's drug, yeah.
Like everything I learned in rehab, I was one in one ear, out the other. I felt healed, you know? So it was good. I was saved. But, you know, I was talking to my sponsor about this the other day. So I had this realization a few days ago in my 9 months that I kept playing it down this whole 9 months because I wasn't on the meth and the Frank, and it wasn't that bad. But I remember 3 weeks in, or 3 days into this sobriety, the urge to get a 6-pack of beers or a bag of Coke was excruciating. I was sobbing for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, just walking around the house going, I can't do it. I can't do it. Like, I couldn't handle it. And I just held on. And I was calling as many people as I could to try and get through it. But I sort of forgot about that. And I treated this sobriety as something I've done easy, you know? But putting down the alcohol was just as hard as putting down meth. That's how bad my alcoholism got. It got that bad. It was my birthday. So this year. It was my first day I didn't use anything to like counteract the alcohol. And I could drink a lot. I had a whole carton before lunchtime. So I blacked out like late afternoon. And I woke up to my partner now that I've got punching me in the arm, going, what are you doing? And I was like, what? Like, babe, I'm just in bed, I'm sleeping. She's like, you're in the hallway pissing. And I was like, what? Like, mid-piss too. Like, I was so ashamed. And that's when I knew I had a problem with everything, you know? I was an alcoholic and addict the whole lot. And I was like, I'm a dad now. You know, it was very early on to our journey together. And I'm like, I took the kids on as my own. And I said, I can't do this. Like, I know where to start. I need to get to a meeting. And I went back to bed. She's a beautiful human. She cleaned it all up. And I went out and I sobbed. I was like, I'm just like my dad, you know? And I never wanted to be like that. And she's like, I've never been through so many fucking tissues. Like, I had snot coming out everywhere.
She's just cleaned out your piss now. She's like,
Just like holding me, wiping my snot
what
away.
a good
like,
woman.
Yeah, beautiful woman. And that's where it changed.
That was the last day?
It wasn't the last day. I gradually weaned off. I went like to just a couple of beers of an afternoon. And then for like 2 months, I was drinking zeros.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't, I don't know, I just felt like it was the habit or the idea that that was a good way to wind down. And then the moment that changed, I got a self-development coach. And I've had so many rewards since that. I started living.
Wow.
I didn't just live to be in recovery. I lived for success. And I spent like close to 10 grand in the last 8 months on coaches.
And you find it's really
outside
helping?
of recovery.
Yeah.
It's the missing link.
Wow.
Like people look at me and they're like, how do you handle so much? I've got 3 jobs, a business I've just launched, recovery, gym, content creating. I'm in chat talks with my mate about a clothing brand. I also just started a podcast with my partner.
Amazing.
I'd get on people's podcasts and I want more. It's still not enough, you know?
I think a lot of people who have suffered with addiction actually make incredible business people. I see this time and time again. We have this tenacity. I can keep going and going and going. And it's almost like we were with our addiction, we never wanted it to stop. And I think with people who are ex-addicts in business, it's the same mentality.
Yeah.
We've got that hustler mentality. Zach, I want to rewind to the scenario of you being desperate, aching for a bag and alcohol. And you said that you called up your sponsor and you're calling up people. Do you find that really helps you when you're in times of despair, is talking to people?
It's like, so what I realized is instead of using your phone for the devil, to get on, to get like someone to justify your reasons and bullshit excuses to pick up and go back to where you're comfortable, you use it for good. You use it to ring people that won't lie to you. They'll be honest, but supportive, you know? People that have been through it, that have what you want. And when you use your phone for like, God, for the good things in life, that's the difference. So I just told myself, I'm going to use my phone for good reasons. And instead of using, all I need to do is pick the phone up. Connection. And that saved me many times. Yeah.
I know that you said before that when you really look back, so this stint of sobriety hasn't been the easiest. When are your trigger points?
Do you want to know something surprising? Or maybe not surprising. My trigger points early on were the kids. Because I guess growing up, Dad was always very snappy. And for some reason, I have it in me. And when I'd get irritated or tired from work, I'd come home and I was very strict on them early on because I thought I had to be so they didn't end up in a bad way and they learnt respect. But I stopped being their friend and started being too strict. And it was a new house. It was my first house. And I was like, get off the walls, like freaking out. And as soon as my voice would get deep and I'd raise it, I'd freak out. I'd be like, no, that's what Dad used to do. I'm not that guy. And I'd walk outside and call my sponsor and be like, help. This is and he'd just talk me through it. And I got taught to not react. Like, the only thing that's happening when I react is it's affecting me, no one else. So I learned to control it. I learned to be aware of it and just see it for what it is. And I was ringing the phone sometimes 3 times to my sponsor and just been like, hey, it's happening again. And he'd talk me through it. And then I learned to do it on my own, and I just got better. But it was definitely a forced habit to pick up the phone.
Totally. Considering your history, what is your communication going to be to your kids around alcohol and drugs?
I think when they're old enough, depends, like, if they're open to it, if I think they're aware enough of the reality of how bad it can get. But at the moment, I'm not thinking about it. There's no alcohol in my house, and there's hardly any alcohol with any of the family I surround myself with now. And my daughter goes to a Christian school. She's like my little worship girl. She sings worship songs and claps her hands, and she's so innocent. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a different world.
It's a bridge you'll cross once you get to it.
Yeah, like, I'm trying to bring them up in an environment where alcohol is frowned upon.
Interesting.
Like it's accepted in small doses on occasions if other family and friends are drinking on a birthday, but we won't be hanging around, 2 hours, as soon as it turns into a party and not a celebration, we're out. Because it's not a celebration. If you're drinking to celebrate, it's just an excuse to drink. And you're treating it like as a selfish thing to have a drink instead of celebrating or being in the moment, being present. And that's how I view life now. Like, if you're drinking, it's selfish most of the time, If you have one a day, why are you having one a day? What's it numbing? Why are you doing that? There's reasons behind it. I just see life in a whole different, view now. And that's what I want to introduce to my kids is like, you don't need that shit, Life's better without it. This is how we live now.
Do you think you'll be completely transparent and honest about your past to them?
Yeah, when they're ready. I got nothing to hide.
Yeah.
That's why I'm on here. But like with them, I don't have boundaries for anyone in this world. I will be honest and upfront with my mum, the same as I will with my daughter, with you. I have no boundaries for honesty,
Yeah.
I think there's things you need to be careful about and to protect your privacy and stuff like that, to be safe, but I'll always be upfront and honest wherever possible.
Well, Zach, it sounds like you're incredibly strong and successful in your sobriety, which I congratulate you wholeheartedly. I want to know, though, have you started to heal the wound that is your father?
I've tried to heal that over many years. Even throughout this recovery, I've seen it all differently. One week I might be forgiving. The next week I'll be disciplined and I'll be like, fuck that. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll be like, he was never there. I'm taking the reins. Like, I made myself. I learnt what I did by myself, I'm my own man. And then I'd go through another week where I'm like, he did what he could. And I think it's a process,
Yeah, yeah. Do you have a son at the moment?
2 daughters.
If you have a son,
Yep.
how will you father him differently so he doesn't grow up to perhaps live the same life?
The exact same as my daughters that I'm currently doing now. I will be present. I will be busy working because I believe as an adult, you should always chase your dreams. Just like when you're a kid. That's what I stopped doing. And I think a lot of people work and parent. They don't have passion or purpose. And your kids see it. They sense it, So that you've got to have the purpose outside of the family and outside of work to fulfill you, which is like so many people miss it, and they're stuck, they're depressed, they have anxiety because they're living to work and fucking parent. No one wants to do that. You can tell yourself that all you want, but it's a lie, you know? Deep down, you know you're missing out on something. So my goal is to chase my dreams, and wherever I can, as much as possible, be in the moment with my kids. I'll take time off work to go to sports days at school, and I don't want to miss out, you know?
Yeah.
I want to be there the whole step of the way. But yeah, I'll still chase my dreams.
Do you think you would show this son that we're making up, do you think that you would show him that love that you looked up to in your friend's father, that you will kiss him and show that real loving side?
Yeah. I'm going to teach my son that real men cry. I get on my camera and I'm sobbing. I'm like, real men cry. Like, be a gangster and cry, you know?
Totally.
I want to turn people's mindsets around, like normalize crying. I cry like once a week now.
Yeah. Especially in sobriety.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Because as we were saying, like, you know, I was so angry for 15 years of my life when I was an alcoholic.
Yeah.
As soon as I stopped drinking, I haven't stopped crying.
How beautiful is that?
I know. It makes me realize how sad I've been my whole life. It's just sadness. I could just cry now. This is how I cry so easily. Like I could get upset now thinking about it.
I don't think it's sadness. I think it's healing. I look at it like it's releasing, like, and you're resetting.
Yeah.
So I work hard for 14 days. I've been doing 14-hour days, like just constant on my phone, client check-ins, networking, doing whatever whilst I'm at work, and just nonstop. And I'll hit a breaking point. I'll get tired and run down, and I'll be overthinking. I've still got problems going on with my own family, and there's a lot to handle. And I'll have a point where my partner, she's so good at it. She sits me down, and I don't know how, she draws it out, and I just cry. I've learnt to just sit with myself when I do feel it and let it out.
Yeah.
Because it feels good.
Well, you feel safe with her. She gives you that permission. That's so beautiful. Zach, I'm going to start wrapping up this amazing interview. I want to know, let's inspire some people, because this is what happened to me, and I want to know if your story is the same. Once I went sober, it was almost like the universe was like, here's a reward, and just things started, not saying that I've never had a bad day since, of course, but it's almost like there was these little markers for like, I'm on the right path.
Yep.
Was that similar in your story, that things just slowly started to go right and feel in alignment?
Yeah, all the time. All the time. And what I've learned is you don't understand the past until you're in the future. So like if something does go wrong, understand that it's setting you up for the next reward or the solution. And in 3 weeks' time, you'll look back and you'll understand why you went through, you know. Everything's a blessing. Life is so beautiful. And I think it comes down to awareness. You're not under influence when you're in sobriety. You feel, you sense, you see, you think. Everything, it's finally coming to you. You see things differently. I was sitting down last night thinking about talking to my mate, seeing him after this, and I had tears coming out because I'm like, I have so much gratitude.
Gratitude,
you know?
totally.
Yeah. Like life is beautiful.
I know.
I love it.
I was just saying to a guest before that I almost sound too like with the fairies and off the deep end, because I was driving here and I was like, oh, thank you trees, thank you gravel, thank you all these other drivers. We're all driving safely. Like you almost sound deluded because you're just so happy. Like I thought I'm going to be institutionalized if I say this out loud. Zach, this has been such a positive. You've given me like life back again. I've had a coffee before this, but I feel motivated again after this chat. What has been, this will be my final question.
Okay, cool.
If someone was Zach 5 years ago
Mm-hmm.
and they are desperate to be anywhere else but their current situation, what would your advice be to do? Is it to check into rehab? Is it to tell someone? Is it to talk to someone?
I think when you're in that big of a mess, rehab all the way, because you need to be loved, you need to be saved, and you're not ready for self-development or anything until you're healed, like enough. So I would start with healing, like rehab, and then come out meetings. And when you're ready for more outside of work and parenting, get a self-development coach. It was a game changer for me. Absolute game changer.
Thank you so much for coming on today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. Hey, it's so
Thank
good
you.
to meet you in person and feel
And
your
Zach's much
energy.
taller in real life, everyone. When he walked in, I was shocked. No, thank you for coming.
Pleased to be here. Thank you.